blessings you have bestowed upon us. As we gather here, we pray that this meeting is successful, productive, and blessed. Guide us, give us wisdom concerning the issues that we face. Lord, we give you the glory for what we accomplish. As always, in your name we pray. Amen.
Flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May be seated. Under public comments,
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. The first item on the agenda under presentations, we have presentation of departmental reports. Tonight we have Department of Finance, Police Department, Municipal Court, Fire Department, and Department of Utilities. Should you have any questions on any of these reports, everybody's here ready and available.
First, we go in there, I'd just like to say that we want to give our condolence to Mr. Ramirez on his hard times that he's going through right now, and ask the city that keep him in his prayers. And thank you, Mr. Ramirez, for being here with us. I know that you're going through a difficult time. Mr. Arguna?
Yes, sir.
I know we're doing a lot of the streets and part of that. Have you gotten a hold of Mr. Vela and see if, what other funding we could gather?
No, sir. I did reach out to him. I couldn't get a hold of him, but that's one of the things that I'll be talking to him about, the additional funding that we may be able to qualify for. As to what I can see, there may be some potential funding on some bonds. So that's something that we'll be looking forward to. And yes, I'll be calling Mr. Vela again. Hopefully we can have the talk and talk about that possible refunding.
Yeah, we could get some more funding, and I know that, in one of his comments, he had mentioned that there might be a possibility of getting extra funding. And if we could have the engineers look at that street, at Short Road, and see what would be our cost. I know that when we discussed it about a layover, but, this doesn't have curving the gutters. So let's get a proposal and complete, see what would be the cost. As some more funding comes in, we can
And
work on it.
as a matter of fact, we should have a cost proposal on that already, but it hasn't been presented, only because of the fact that we're currently working on the south side, and there's a few street more left over that we'll see here on the presentation shortly, and then shortly after that, they'll be working on the north side, which is Short Road, as a matter of fact. That's one of the roads, streets that is going to get repaved.
on the list,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. Good. Any other questions for Mr. Arjona or any of the directors present?
I'd like to, if I may, Mayor,
Go ahead,
bring
sir.
Mr. Hollis over to the podium in reference to a grant that we just awarded, which is called the SAFER for the fire department.
Safer?
Grant.
For the fire department.
Mayor, members of the council, thank you for having me here. Just very briefly to let you know that as of Friday afternoon, working in conjunction with your fire chief, Chief Garza, and our staff, we've been due diligence with applying for several grants. As you all know, we were able to have a notification from FEMA late Friday that we have received $443,038 for hiring of 4 firefighters for a period of 3 years. This will require, of course, a city match. The city's match will be $59,870 per year for the first and second year. The last year would be $155,000. It would require a total of $275,402 as a match. But it's significant. It's called a SAFER grant, staffing for adequate fire and emergency response. But at your next meeting, you probably will hear from your fire chief and our staff relative to the acceptance of this particular grant. Thank you very much for your time. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Mr. Hollis.
Thank you, Mayor, and
Appreciate
my
it.
condolences again to Commissioner Ramirez. Thank you. Thank you.
On the next item, Mayor, Commissioners, item B, status report, and we have a couple of reports, presentations by Mr. Cruz Holgate. The first-time sewer connections, and also paving reconstruction improvements of Phase 2.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good afternoon, sir.
The status on this project is, that's actually the street improvements. We'll go on, that's going to be the second item. But the first time sewer connections, as mentioned last time, all the main lines are in ground. The contractors right now is working on making a lot of the service connections to the houses and decommissioning the tanks in those properties. That is a challenging, I guess, a challenging part of the project, really. There's a lot of coordination having to be made with the homeowners, access to the properties, finding the location of those tanks and to decommission them. So that's taking them a little bit of time. But other than that, they're moving forward. They're pushing us as best as they can to get the project completed. They do have some time as far as delays, rain delays, and some other project delays that have come about during the project. So the time of completion will be pretty much a wash at the end. If there's any questions on that project specifically.
Are they on schedule?
Again, with the additional time for delays and so it's probably going to be a wash. It's going to be about there.
The reason I'm asking is because I got a phone call, and I know I sent an email to Mr. Arjona that they hadn't been on the site for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so there was some areas, they had two different crews working at some point, and because of other workload that they have in other areas, they've lowered down to one crew for service connections. So we made them go back to a lot of those areas that they had worked at some point and go back and finish them out, and then before they started doing any other service connections anywhere else. So they went back that same week that we got the call. We sent them back out there. They went back and finished a lot of those areas, and so everything should be up to date as far as the work that they're doing. And we made sure that we stress to them that if they start something, to finish it out and not leave the property, with trenches or unfinished business there.
So what's the estimated time of completion?
They're estimating about mid-September. So right now, yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Mayor and Commissioners, and Ben, Rick, this is the street, the layout of the whole city where the streets are being paved. Now, I have them individually, maybe it's hard to see that. Starting with we can start with Area 1. Area 1 through Area 4 are all the streets, Area 3, they're all the streets on the north side of the expressway. These are the ones that are going to get done, which is Monica, Sunset, and go to Area 2. This is Encino, Cedro, and I think this is Olmo. That's Area 2. Area 3 is Short Road, the one here. This is the one that Mr. Ramos was talking about, and this is the other short road. And then now we jump to Area 4, which is on the south side of the expressway, and this is Oblate. Oblate has been completed. Question?
No, yeah, go ahead, sir. No.
Okay, Oblate has been completed, that's Area 4. Now to go to Area 5, which is 6th Street, 9th Street, and San Antonio, and Standard. Out of these, Area 5, 9th Street has been completed, which is right here, off of Veterans. 6th Street is being started. San Antonio, if you notice out there, half of it's paved. Tomorrow, it'll be finished, or the next day. And then they're going to start on Standard. If you notice, the barricades are up over there, so they're going to start doing Standard. Now, on this area, has been added is 7th Street, 8th Street, 9th Street, and I think 10th Street. They're all the same length of these, which are this one. I think it's right there and right there, right there. And those are on a change order that I think have been approved, and they're going to start working on those streets also when they're working on 6th Street.
So 7th Street is gonna run all the way to Standard?
No, Seventh, no, it's
Church Street.
8, 9, and 10.
Yeah,
It's just,
'cause
yeah, 8, 9, and 10. Now,
that's what I
7th is already
understood
done.
On that?
Seventh is all the way to
Yeah,
the-
I was gonna say.
8, 9, and 10.
Okay.
8, 9, and 10. And they're the same thing as 6.
Let me ask you
One
this,
block.
Mr. Cruz.
Yes, sir.
Do you have like an estimated cost on the curb and gutter on Short Road? What is something like that run?
We have that the cost to do it, if you remember, we had that street curb and gutter with drainage tying into TxDOT system. Then it was taken out and it was, it's edge to edge repaved, it's 26 feet instead of I think it was 28 or something with curb and gutter.
How long ago was that, as far as when they took?
Before we bid it.
Oh,
Before it
okay.
was bid.
Okay.
And then, so recently, we went back and we put the bid items, because a lot of those items were part of the other bid, so we put those numbers in, and it came out to about 196,000 to do it. The bid that's there right now is 90,000. So basically, to add the curb and gutter, drainage, inlets, and everything that, and some driveways that needed to be done if you put curb and gutter, it's about $106,000 extra on Short Road. And,
106?
106.
But Short Road right now is just an overlay. We don't have.
Well, we're gonna fix
But we
it.
don't have a fix it, but we don't have a curb and gutter.
No, sir.
Based on that.
Just 26 feet edge to edge with open ditches.
So you're saying it would cost us, what, 99, just to do the paving was how much?
90,000,
90,000, and to do curb and gutter,
196,000,
196. So 100,000 would be just about.
about
for the curb and gutter.
106,000 extra to do. It included also some inlets, some drainage pipe, and then tying into an inlet on 495 and then some valley gutters and things like that. So it was a little bit more extensive.
So basically, it's an additional 106,000 for curb and gutter,
Yes,
right?
right,
Okay. Okay.
okay.
That,
And, okay, so this is Area 5. Area 6 is 6th Street. They're working on it right now. This is over there by City Hall, by the convention, the dance place, whatever it is over there. They're working on this. 10th Street has been completed. Okay, Area 7. You got a question on that one, Commissioner? No? Okay, Area 7 is Kansas, Iowa, 12th Street. All these have been completed from 10th, Kansas, and Iowa. Area 8 is Regiment, 14th, 14th and a half, 15th, State Avenue, Kansas, and Ohio. All these have been completed. All these areas right here. Here's the school. Okay, then Area 9 is Nebraska, from 12th all the way to Ridge. It's completed already. The only thing that's pending there is final cleanup and striping. So the intersection, if you notice it, it's all concrete now with drainage on Ridge, and it has been paved. And that also included changing a 12-inch water line from Ridge all the way to 12. So, because it was under the pavement, it was an old asbestos line, and it was only about 1.5 feet deep. So when we would have done this, it would have broken it anyway. So we replaced it with PVC, brand new line. Basically, that's where we're at. The contract amount for this, for the original contract, was $1,960,201. The work performed to date is $1,297,239. The notice to proceed was May 14th. The start date, May 24th, and the final completion, we're anticipating about October the 20th. The contract days were 150. They've used 92 days. Contract remaining is 58 days. And we don't have a change order, but we do have a change order. We'll bring it back next meeting. And project completion is about 70% right now. The rest of it is going to go a lot quicker because what took long was, of course, the water line on Nebraska. There was just
You found the problem there, or
Yeah.
that there was water draining?
it was just the pipe itself. We figured that out that from the old pipe.
Normally, we're working on this area, we already got the crew here, it's a lot feasible just to fix this area, the south side. When do you think you'll be in the short road in that area?
They're projected to be on Short Road next week. Well, okay, they're going to jump to the north side. I'm thinking they're going to start on Area 3, which is Short Road in San Diego, yes. They're going to start probably next week or the week after, because they have another area where,
If you were to start, how would it affect if we come back and say curb and gutter?
we don't want to do that, because it's
So,
actually,
Because I would suggest that, Mr. Argueta, we're gonna try to see what we can get done over there with curb and gutter. I would delay that street and with a intention that we would look at the numbers and we can get the funding to be able to cover the curb and the gutter before we start paving. And then we come back in 6 months or something later on and look at curb and gutter and, we're gonna tear up something that we got. I know that the residents are in great pressure to get it done, but I prefer them to wait a little bit and hopefully that we can look into it and get that curb and gutter. If not, it would be done it's still gonna be paved, but if we can work on the curb and gutter and see if we can get something done.
Talk to Mr. Vela. Hopefully, there's a way that we can get reimbursed on the additional funding. And if that is the case, we may be able to proceed. I'll speak to Mr. Leroy. I know he's looking at me kind of funny. But if that is the case, we can proceed that way. If not, we'll ask for the additional funding, and then until then, we can proceed with the project. But I'll talk to him tomorrow.
so you were saying to wait,
I would
start on the
suggest-
other
I would
ones, wait a
just
little bit.
Suggest to get the other ones done and let's wait a little bit and let's see if we can get that curb and gutter before we start, spending money and then we're gonna have to tear it up.
Yeah,
and spend
yeah,
more.
you don't want to do what we're going to do, then come in at it,
Come back and
because
tear it.
it's going to be
Yeah,
short.
Exactly.
It's
There's
be
going to be
short.
other roads, Mr. Ronnie, maybe what
Are
Mr.
you,
Garcia
are
said
you
is
available
go the
tomorrow,
others.
Mr. Cruz?
Sure. Tomorrow.
I think the best thing to do, if we're gonna look at that issue, is get with Mr. Arjona, and both of you contact Mr. Vela, and so that way we can try to expedite that issue before you even make the move. Okay, how about we do that?
Mr. Hona, can you please explain exactly, I see a couple confusion faces out here. What exactly is being transpired, or what we're looking at, and we're advising? I think that the impression is we're saying that we're going to hold off till probably another
No,
year. So can we explain, please?
Yes, one of the things that we're going to do is speak to the financial advisor. And depending on when the funding will be available, if he's saying, you know what, we can go out and do some refinancing of bonds. And it typically takes about a month to 2 months before we get the funding. So what we're saying is, if the completion date is late October, maybe we can wait and push that street a little bit further, since we have other streets to repave anyways. And if we can get, maybe we can get an answer from the Mr. Vela, say, yeah, we can reimburse these monies back to you once we get the funding. That'll be an option. If not, I will recommend that, yes, like Mr. Garcia is saying, let's not do the street. The later we're going to come back and tear it down. Tear it up for the curb and gutter. But the road is going to get done anyways, regardless. That's what we're trying to say here. We're going to get it done. We're going to seek for additional funding for the curb and gutter. Like I said, it all depends on the. Well, it may seem like a long time, but I think that if we wait, it'll be done correctly.
Actually, you have waited, a long time, and waiting a little bit, you're gonna get what you want. Going right now and doing it, we're gonna spend more money than what we really need to spend. I know that financial advisors had said before, there's a chance that we could squeeze more money, from there, from refinancing. So that would give us extra money to come back and pay for the curb and gutter. So we do have right now to pay for the payment, for putting a new blacktop there, but now we want curb and gutter, and I think so there's a possibility that we can do it. Waiting is just saying, hey, don't get started and tear it up when we're gonna come and do curb and gutter. Let's just wait. It seems like you're gonna be the last one, but there's other things that we can do here. Meanwhile, we can get some more time and discuss the financial of that curb and gutter. But more likely you will get it done.
There's always options that we can get it done. One of them is if we can get it reimbursed, we can proceed. If not, we'll wait. But it's not going to be next year, 4 or 5 months, anything like that. It'll be shortly after. Well, it may be a lot of time, yes, ma'am. But if we want to do something, we want to do it right. We can just, as directed previously, was just to do the street. But I think what the commission is saying is, let's do it right, so that we can lay the curb and gutter, not only that, but also the drainage system.
What we're saying is like, if you got a house and the boards are already rusted or whatever, falling apart, and we paint it, you're just wasting your paint. So let's take those boards, replace them, and now do the painting. So we're gonna look at the curb and gutter and make sure that we have the money to cover the curb and gutter, and then put your pavement. We're gonna do all together, but waiting is just so we won't spend the layout there and do the blacktop and spend that.
Why do they have money for the other streets?
You know, actually, you know, we shouldn't be really, no, but this is not for a discussion, and we're telling you what it was going, that's why we're telling, we go out there and we get how much money we have, and that's what we're gonna, and we have budget for your street. Now, you want the curb and gutter, and I know that we need a curb and gutter, we gotta go get the money, you know, and then pay for that, you know.
And the other street, just mind you, I mean, they were not for curb and gutter, it was just repaving. None of the other streets have been curb and gutter. This will probably be the exception.
And I know Mr. Ramos understands it well, and he can probably explain to you what we're talking about.
And the plans are complete, so we have the cost estimates, we have everything. We'll get everything with Ben, and then they do their stuff, you know.
Yeah.
No, well, that's why I instructed Mr. Cruz to meet with Mr. Arjona tomorrow, so that way they can call, you know, speak to Vela and get the ball going as soon as possible. And that is our goal. Okay? So we're going to do our best. And believe me, you know, this commission has worked very, very hard for the citizens of San Juan, just like our directors and employees. So one thing I can guarantee you is that we're going to work, and we're going to try to get this done for you guys and for the rest of the citizens who are out there in the need of, you know, the street projects that we're doing. So I thank you so much for being here this evening and showing that, you know, you guys, like you say, you pay taxes, and that's what we're here for.
And Mr. Arjona, we did not do curb and gutters, no, in other streets at this point, right?
No.
All of them were just blacktop.
It was just repaving.
Yeah, he
This
just
is the
informed
only
us.
street that we're looking, besides the Carmen crossover, that's where we did the curb and gutter.
Concrete.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But you will hear from us, or you'll hear from Mr. Arjona. Okay? So, Commissioner Ramos, you'll be getting a call from either Mr. Cruz or Mr. Arjona, you know. So, okay? Once again, thank you guys, and we're here for you, okay? Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
If I may,
Go ahead, sir.
the other areas that have already been paved, have they been under budget?
Well, there was a bid. It was a bid items.
Right.
We're actually, the change order that we're gonna bring is gonna add some costs. Because what's happening is that we're changing a lot of water lines that are under there, and you're.
However, you know, let me just add on that. Fortunately, the water lines is not really affecting this particular bid because we have another bond that we can use. Some of the repairs under that bond that was here since 2009, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Salinas, or what was that one?
2014 bond, sir.
2014 bond, that we have additional funding to fix some of those water lines. So the water lines that were,
The funding,
it is not from this particular budget amount that
Didn't
we
know
have.
that. And they're getting fixed, so this project was actually bid pretty good. It was below the budget of the
It was below
1.9 million. I think it was 2.1.
So we have a little bit of room to play with, but
Yes.
not enough. Not enough.
but we might not need the 100,000. We might need a little bit.
That's what we're hoping.
Right, okay.
If not, we'll just have to get the funding from forfeiture funds for Chief over there. I'm joking. I'm joking, Chief. Strike that, okay?
Got plenty.
For the record. Thank you so much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Cruz. Appreciate it,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
The next item on the public hearing, we have conducted a public hearing and consider adoption of an ordinance in the first reading for a conditional use permit to operate a portable food concession stand at the parking lot located at 1101 East FM 495, legally described as the west 440 feet of the south 495 feet of Lot 5, Block 39, Alamo Land and Sugar Company subdivision, and requested by Javier Leal. On this one, Mayor Commissioners, as it reads there, Mr. Leal is applying for a conditional use permit to operate a food truck at the parking area located 1101 East FM 495, where El Cielo Banquet Hall is located. The applicant has a restaurant in the same property, La Cocina de Mamá, that was opened in June of this year. The restaurant is located in a separate building located to the east of the property. He's proposing to install a food truck to sell food during the evenings. The restaurant is going to continue with their regular operation hours from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and the restaurant will be available all the time for the customers. The proposed days and hours of operation for the food truck are every day from 5 to 1 a.m. Staff did mail the notice to 22 property owners within the 200-foot radius and received no comments in favor or against the request. During the regular scheduled meeting of August 16, 2018, the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the conditional use permit, subject to comply with the list of conditions attached to the packet.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open this up to the public at 7:07 p.m. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against?
Ramirez. I'm in favor of any business that wants to locate or open up in our city, so long as they follow our conditional permits, and there's no, calls in that there's trouble or they're doing something that doesn't fall within the conditions. Anything that falls within our requirements, more than in favor of going ahead and passing this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else here for or against? Members of the commission have any questions? No? If not, I'm going to go ahead and close this at 7:07 p.m. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item is conduct a public hearing and consider adoption of an ordinance in the first reading for a conditional use permit for the self-alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption at Prince Place located 202 West Business 83, legally described as the west 125 feet of the east 605 feet of park lot subdivision, as requested by Jose Marcos Montalvo. Mr. Montalvo, as it reads, the applicant is taking over Prince Place that was originally opened in the year 2012. He's applying for a conditional use permit for the self-alcoholic beverages, wine and beer for on-premise consumption and late hours, permit until 2 a.m. The proposed days and hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. See the attached affidavit. This is the one that I passed out over to you. The planning department requests calls for service from the San Juan Police Department and the record shows calls for disturbance and alarm. Staff mailed a notice of the public hearing to 13 property owners within a 200-foot radius and received no comments in favor or against this request. The recommendation of staff is during the meeting of August 16, 2018, the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the conditional use contingent on a letter from the property owner regarding the parking area and the list of conditions attached to the packet.
I'm going to go ahead and open this up at 7:09 p.m. 7:09 p.m. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against?
Rick Ramirez. I'm in favor of this opening and giving the conditional permit for alcohol beverages. I read the hours. I'm satisfied that another business decides to adopt the hours that I proposed, starting at midday and no earlier than that in the morning. Also, it bears no merit. The former owners who applied before for this business, as those calls only pertain to the former owner of that business. Just wanted to point that out. So again, any business that will generate revenue and fall within our conditions that we put out are more than welcome to do business in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for or against? Any members of the commission have any questions regarding? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead. State your name for the record.
Patrick Johnson with River Valley Switching Company, the railroad.
Thank you, sir.
We oppose it
Okay.
for safety reasons, for, patrons parking real close to the track, and that's why we're opposing it.
Okay. Anyone else for or against? Members of the commission have any questions? Yeah.
Parking close to the railroad track?
Need to check on that if we had any complaints recently, but that's an area that the patrons, the businesses are very much aware that they need to keep their vehicles away from that area because it's a dangerous, haven't had anything that I can recall. recently.
Is there a person that's asking for this here?
Chief, I know you've been here longer. Fire Chief, have you ever responded, any problems in that area as far as fire?
No, sir. No,
Regarding the
Commissioner.
railroad tracks?
We haven't had any incidents in that area, sir.
Okay.
Can we get the business owner to kind of mark what would be the parking area and make sure that we don't get parked? You know, I know that we haven't had a problem, but is there a way to mark that the
I
business
think,
person?
Mayor Pro Tem, on that, we weren't able to establish or set our fire lanes for the simple reason of the distance from their property line to the actual railroad track itself. So we pretty much, as far as we actually haven't had any traffic there, but the main thing, we don't have no dedicated fire lanes there at the moment.
Any other questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and close this at 7:12 p.m. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item is consider the first reading of ordinance adopting the proposed tax rate and levy for the city of San Juan, Texas for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2018 and ending September 30th, 2019. Mr. Leroy Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission.
Good evening, sir.
On Tuesday, August 14, 2018, the City Commission voted and approved the proposed tax rate of .6993 for fiscal year October 1st, 2018 to September 30th, 2019. Scheduled 2 public hearings for August 28th and September 11th of 2018. The proposed tax rate is the same as last year. However, in accordance with the property tax law, the proposed tax rate of 6.993 exceeds the effective tax rate of 6.6988, or a road tax rate of 7.480. Therefore, 2 public hearings on the proposed tax rate will be required before the City Commission adopts the tax rate ordinance.
I'm going to go ahead and open this up at 7:13 p.m. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against?
Rick Ramirez. I'm in favor of keeping our current tax rate for the simple reason that there's really no reason for any city whatsoever to raise the tax. That's under the city's commission, their leadership to be able to balance and keep an ordinance of our monies and how they're spent well aware. One comment that I do want to make, because several people have stressed this to me, is that they want to see a proposal on this anytime that we have a tax rate meeting. They want to see the proposal not only when the numbers for increasing the tax rate, but they also want to see the numbers, what are the proposed numbers and the percentages that we see if it is lowered. People do want to decrease on their tax rate. And this tax rate can't go forever, as you know. We can't keep it going, keeping the same tax rate. I know we're not raising it, but we're also not lowering it. They stressed this to me already. I believe that not everyone shares the same walk of lives. Not everybody has the same income revenue that comes in. Not everybody has the same family size as everybody. So as you well know, there's a study for our city. What is the age group and how many members live in each household? So several people have more than their own kids to take care of. Some of them take care of their parents. Some of them are grandparents who take care of their nephews. So not a lot of income comes in. So anytime we don't change our tax rate, it hurts them because not everybody has the same walk of life. So I stress this again. When we do another tax rate, please put the numbers so that people will know what are the changes that could happen if we were to able to decrease our tax rate. I know it falls within our own commission to be able to balance and differentiate between wants and needs. There are a lot of needs that we do need. There's a lot of wants that we want to get, but we can't get because there's other things that are prioritized. So like the streets, very important thing to do. A lot of things, whether it's hiring, there's a lot of things that we need to get, but we don't get. So again, I'm in favor of keeping our current tax rate, but do the proposal as to what would happen if we do lower it. Again, stressing this for the families that live here in the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else for or against? Members of the commission, any questions?
Oh, actually, what we're saying, we're going to keep it the same,
Yes, sir.
you know, and it's always good to lower it, but we got to see the streets, and you see, just saw the residents that, how they come and their needs are there, you know, and we got to, there's not only their gutter, we got other gutters that we got to continue working. And, you know, I think so we're going to have a little bit more revenue this year, not that much on taxes, but, you know, we got to continue. We got a lot of needs on streets and gutters that we got to work, and, you know, we're going to maintain the same thing that we've been doing before.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and close this at 7:16 p.m. Is there a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Under consent agenda, there's a couple of items, monthly collection report for July 2018 and the budget expenditure report for July 2018. If you have any questions, we can always pull them out for discussion.
Is there anything we need to pull out or modify under consent agenda at this time? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under executive session, we have consultation with attorney and possible action regarding pending mediation concerning Citizen Juan versus Milton and Hunt Incorporated pertaining to the water tower cause number 7170-13G pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071. And the next item is pursuant to Section 551.074, personnel matters. Discuss the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee director, in this case, Director of Information Technology.
At this time, we'll be going in executive session. Is there a motion to approve? There's- all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We'll be going in at 7:18 p.m. We're back from executive session at 7:47 p.m. Is there a motion to reconvene? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under executive session, under A, I make a motion to proceed the recommendation of legal counsel.
Second.
It's been second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And under executive, personal matters. Go ahead.
I make a motion on the decision on Mr. Arjona to hire the new director for the IT.
Second.
Very recommended.
It's been, there's been a motion by Coach Neto Guajardo, second by Commissioner Lenny Sanchez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Clear the record, the recommendation, can we please state the name of the recommendation?
The recommended, the Director of IT is Saul Rodriguez.
For the record, Saul Rodriguez. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned at 7:49 p.m. Thank you.